evening. The palace calls out Vice President Sara Duterte for claiming that the Philippines is turning into a dumpster. Vice President Duterte recently criticized the government, saying the country is heading toward a dumpster and that Filipinos see no hope in the current government. In a briefing on Wednesday, March 26, Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary Claire Castro claps back at the Vice President's statement, criticizing her absence in the country. Castro reminds the Vice President of her obligations as the second highest official of the country.
Hindi ba mas magiging mapupunta tayo sa dumpster kung ang magiging pangulo natin o ang magiging leader natin ay ang mga katulad nila VP Sara, mas na inuuna pang magpunta sa abroad, magsilbi sa isang tao, although tatay niya po yun, pero marami pa rin pong Pilipino na umaasa sa kanya bilang vice presidente. Mahirapan po tayo magkaroon ng pangulo kung lagi po nasa abroad at hindi po ginagawa ang trabaho dito sa Pilipinas.
Castro then accuses the Vice President of simply not knowing what the government does, including programs being implemented, as she refuses to actually acknowledge them.
Siguro sinasabi niya yan na road to perdition na tayo. Bakit? Dahil hindi niya naman nakikita kung ano ang mga ginagawa, mga proyekto, programa na isagawa na at na itulong na ng pamahalaan sa taong bayan. Dahil malamang ay hindi siya nanonood ng ating press briefing everyday. At hindi rin naman siguro siya nanonood ng mga programang ipinapalabas sa PTV4 at saka sa RTVM. Talagang mabubulagan siya kapag hindi po niya inaalam kung ano ang naging trabaho at magiging trabaho ng administrasyon sa pangunguna ni Pangulong Marcos.
The Vice President is currently at The Hague, Netherlands to assist her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, who is currently under the custody of the International Criminal Court. The Vice President previously said that she will only go back to the country once all her father's defense lawyers have been appointed by the ICC. The former president was arrested and sent to The Hague for crimes against humanity he allegedly committed during his administration's war against drugs. Senate President Cheese Escudero says requiring Vice President Sara Duterte to answer the impeachment case against her cannot be done legally while the Senate session is on break. Escudero's statement comes after the House prosecution panel led by House Minority Leader Marcelino Libanan submitted an entry with motion to issue summons before the Senate on Tuesday, March 25. The motion seeks the Senate to require Vice President Duterte to respond to the impeachment charges against her. But according to Escudero, summoning the Vice President cannot be legally done because the Senate is not in session.
It cannot legally be done. Hindi po sa po pwede dahil walang sesyon ang Senado. That can only be done when Congress is in session. Hindi yan pwedeng gawin habang recess. At klaro ang pagkakaiba nung dalawang yon sa pag-conduct ng hearing ng Senado. Hindi na kailangan i-memorize yan, ika nga, at alam na dapat din niya yan.
The Senate chief says he does not need to teach Libanan the difference between having a session and recess, as they both serve together in the House of Representatives. Escudero also notes that even in their motion, the impeachment prosecutors acknowledged that the writ of summon can only be issued after the presentation of articles of impeachment and the convening of the impeachment court.
So ang tanong ko, na-present na ba nila yung articles of impeachment in plenary? Na-convene na ba yung court? Hindi pa naman eh. Hindi pa rin pwede yung writ of summons.
Senator Imee Marcos officially withdraws from the senatorial slate of Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas, endorsed by her brother, President Bongbong Marcos. The senator's withdrawal from the slate came days after the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte. Senator Marcos led a Senate probe last March 20 to dig further into the arrest process done by local authorities to the former president. Citing the Senate's hearing last week, Senator Marcos in a statement says that government witnesses appear to be hiding essential facts. Despite the witnesses' constant narrative that the government was simply complying with its international commitments, the senator says there was a deliberate effort to obscure the truth that the Constitution may have been disregarded during the arrest of the former president. According to Senator Marcos, preliminary findings following the probe showed that there were actions taken by her brother's administration that run counter to her ideals and principles. The senator then says that she can no longer stand on the same platform with the rest of the Alyansa senatorial candidates. Senator Marcos notes that she wants to focus on the case of a Filipino surrendered by the Philippine government to a foreign institution. She adds that this is not only about former President Duterte, but the Philippine sovereignty. During a campaign sortie of the Alyansa slate last March 21 in Cavite, President Marcos skipped his sister's name as he introduced the group's candidates. According to the palace, President Marcos' mom on why he skipped in endorsing his sister. Senator Bongo and ACT-CIS party list Representative Erwin Tulfo led the latest social weather station survey for senatorial candidates for the 2025 midterm elections. The survey, which was commissioned by Strat-based consultancy, was conducted from March 15 to 20, 2025. Based on the survey, Go and Tulfo tied for first and second place with 42% of intended votes each. Ben Tulfo and former Senator Tito Soto are also tied for the third and fourth spot with 34% votes. Meanwhile, Senator Lito Lapid slipped from the third to fifth spot with 33% votes. The survey also showed that Senator Bong Revilla remained in the sixth spot with 32% votes. Senator Pia Cayetano shared the seventh and eighth spots with former Senator Ping Lacson with 31% votes each. Senator Ronald De La Rosa remained in the ninth spot with 30% votes. Television host Willie Revillame ranked in the 10th place with 28% votes. Makati City Mayor Abby Binay, former Senator Manny Pacquiao, and Las Piñas City Representative Camille Villar ranked 11th to 13th places, having 27% of votes. Following Villar are former Senators Kiko Pangilinan and Bam Aquino with 24% and 21% respectively. The survey was conducted through face-to-face interviews among 1,800 registered Filipino voters aged 18 and above. The warm or dry season in the Philippines officially begins, according to Pagasa. In a statement on Wednesday, March 26, Pagasa says the shift of wind direction from northeasterly to easterly over the northwestern Pacific signifies the termination of the northeast monsoon, locally known as amihan, over most parts of the country. Pagasa also says the extreme northern Luzon may still experience occasional northeasterly winds. According to Pagasa, the day-to-day weather across the country will gradually become warmer, though isolated thunderstorms are also likely to occur. The State Weather Bureau advises the public to take precautionary measures to minimize heat stress and optimize the daily use of water. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Imee Marcos. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.